Full-size truck. Airborne. Straight into the ditch. Guns drawn on the mountain. Number 1 ends upside down. Nobody should have walked away. We start low on the danger scale, but high on the throttle. A sport bike threads between cars at speeds patrol cruisers simply cannot match. The rider tucked low and weaving through gaps that should not exist. Every lane change is a coin flip, and the dashcam can barely hold the frame as the motorcycle pulls away into traffic. Right now, there is nothing the officers can do but follow and pray the rider does not clip a bumper at this speed. There is no crash to close this one out, and that is exactly why it's number 8. The bike keeps its line, slips around a slower vehicle, and eventually, the pursuit is called off for public safety. No flip, no fireball, just a rider who got away clean for now. On a list ranked by danger, this is the floor, the warm-up before the violence. But make no mistake, every one of these chases was one wrong input away from a body bag. Another two-wheeler, another nightmare for the troopers behind it. This rider reaves across multiple lanes of moving traffic, using the motorcycle's size to disappear into blind spots and squeeze through gaps no car could follow. The patrol unit hangs back, knowing one aggressive move could send the bike under a truck. Watch how the rider treats the center line like a suggestion, splitting traffic while the speedometer climbs past anything safe. Like the last one, this rider stays upright, and that restraint is the only reason it ranks just above the floor. The bike eventually opens enough distance that the chase is terminated. The suspect swallowed by traffic. No impact, no rollover, no drawn weapon, but the sheer recklessness of weaving through semis at triple-digit speed earns it the number 7 spot. The danger here is potential, not realized, and from here on, that potential starts cashing in. Now the stakes change. This is a felony stop, and the moment the vehicle rolls to a halt, officers pile out with weapons drawn and aimed center mass. Commands are barked across the asphalt. Doors hang open, and the suspect is ordered to the ground one slow movement at a time. The car is no longer the threat. The hands inside it are. Every officer on scene has a finger near the trigger, and a single reach toward a waistband decides whether anyone home tonight. Suspect complies, and that is the only reason this stays in amber instead of turning into gunfire. Officers move in. cuff the driver on the pavement and clear the vehicle without a shot fired. It is tense, it is loaded, and it is the first time on this list we see guns out of holsters, which is exactly why it climbs to number 6. The danger is no longer hypothetical. It is standing in the road with a weapon pointed at a human being. We climb into the mountains into red territory. The chase ends on a narrow grade where the suspect refuses to surrender, and officers fan out with rifles and pistols leveled across the terrain. This is no longer a routine felony stop. This is an armed standoff with elevation cover and a suspect who is not putting his hands up. Voices crack over the radio as officers hold the line. Every one of them aware this could turn into a shootout in seconds. The standoff drags on, weapons trained the entire time, until the suspect finally chooses to live and steps out. Officers swarm and take him down hard against the mountain road. The threat neutralized without a round being fired, though it's close enough to make every viewer flinch. The combination of armed resistance, difficult terrain, and a suspect willing to die earns this the number 5 slot. Red severity, drawn weapons, and a finale that hung by a thread. This one gets physical fast. The suspect vehicle is boxed and refusing to comply, so an officer moves in and shatters the driver's windshield to force the issue. Glass explodes across the dashboard. The driver flinches, and what was a standoff becomes a violent extraction with weapons drawn and adrenaline spiking on both sides. Smashing the glass is a desperate, aggressive move, and it tells you exactly how dangerous officers believe this driver to be. With the windshield caved in and weapons pointed inside the cabin, the driver has nowhere left to go. Officers drag him through the wreckage of his own glass and pin him to the ground as backup floods the scene. There is no high-speed crash here, but the raw violence of the takedown, the drawn guns, and the shattered windshield push it to number 4. This is the moment a pursuit stops being a chase and becomes a fight. And the suspect lost it badly. Now the rollovers begin. A pickup truck running hard from patrol loses its footing on a fast curve, and physics takes over. 1 second, it is upright and accelerating. The next, it is airborne, barrel rolling across the roadway in a cloud of dust and debris until it slams to a stop completely inverted, wheels spinning at the sky. A vehicle this size flipping at speed is not survivable by luck alone, and the cab is now the only thing between the driver and the pavement. The truck comes to rest on its roof, crushed and steaming. An officer spraying, expecting the worst. Incredibly, the occupant is conscious, dragged out through the buckled frame and pinned for cuffs as the dust settles around the wreck. The sheer brutality of a full-size truck flipping onto its roof, the crumpled cab, and the near-certain injuries lock in the number 3 spot. This is what happens when you take a curve faster than the truck can hold, and the road does not forgive. Our runner-up is a pickup that pushes its luck one corner too far. Trying to escape down a rural stretch, the driver overcooks it. The back end steps out, and the truck launches off the shoulder. It tumbles violently into the ditch, throwing dirt and torn metal in every direction as the cab takes the full force of the roll. You can hear the impact even over the engines. The kind of crash that ends a pursuit and possibly a life in the same instant. pickup settles deep in the ditch, mangled and half buried. An officer scrambled down the embankment with weapons ready and medics inbound. The driver is hauled from the wreckage, dazed and bleeding. The escape attempt over in the worst way possible. It edges out the truck rollover for the number 2 spot because of how fast and how completely it ended. A high-speed flip into a ditch that turned a pickup into scrap. One bad steering input and the chase wrote its own ending. And here it is, the most violent finale on the list. A sedan pushed far beyond what the driver can control finally loses the back end at full speed. It snaps sideways, digs in, and flips, rolling over and over down the roadway in a spray of glass and torn body panels before crashing to a brutal stop completely upside down on its crushed roof. This is the worst case scenario. The moment every trooper dreads, a passenger compartment folded around whoever is still inside. The sedan comes to rest on its roof. The cabin caved in and the road littered with debris from the roll. Officers converge instantly. Weapons drawn at first, then dropped as they tear at the wreckage to reach the occupant trapped inside. It is chaos. Glass everywhere, the smell of fuel, and the grim realization of how little metal stood between the driver and the asphalt. A high-speed rollover that ends on its roof is the deadliest way a chase can end. And that is why this sedan takes the number 1 spot on the list, ranked entirely by danger. That is today's countdown, ranked by danger. Rollovers, drawn weapons, and bikes that should not have been on the road. That split second, one decision changes everything, and we